You're listening to For Better and Worse with Jess and Rach. Here we are. You're recording two mics at the same time.
Yay!
Practice makes perfect.
Hello, guys.
Hello. Welcome to our podcast.
Welcome. We're coming at you live. It's been a while. It's coming at you live from
Rach's space.
Rach's space.
That's what you say. I'll tell you what
Gather,
you say.
studio, and workspace.
We gotta.
Are you okay over there?
We gotta.
It's a cozy morning here. We have rain, clouds, and coffee. And Rach's mic
Is broken.
is broken. But I'm here, and I'm here to talk to you in this soft voice
Yes.
on a cozy morning.
Did you know it's our ASMR episode?
Please, God, no. I tried to like it, and they still pop up on my For You page, and I'm like, oh, I cannot. It's the whispering.
Is it one of those things that like you can't help?
It's triggering.
Okay.
I like want to like it. It's almost like something about it's like, ooh, like a train wreck. Like you can't look away, but I'm like, I actually can't stand more than like 5 seconds of it. I'm like, it's secondhand embarrassment of the person doing it.
I know it is
like that.
It's a lot. Something I did think about. One of the goals I have for my dad before he dies. 77. We got to start crossing.
Talk about that like that.
If I don't laugh, I'll absolutely stop. So.
I used to talk about that with my dad's dogs.
Oh, and look what happened.
And one did pass away. Rest in peace, Kaya. And everyone's like, Jess, stop. And I'm like, I don't know why. It's not funny.
No, but it's like you're conditioning your brain.
I used to do it to my sister. I said, because she has like Bella, my dad's dog, who is still alive, is like my sister's dog. And every time I'm like, hey, get a picture. Could be your last. She's like, Jess, what the fuck? And like, it's just like uncharted territory, and I just go for it. But it's inappropriate. Jess says it is inappropriate that we should be talking about our parents like that.
Wait until they get to be almost 80 years old, and you're just like, fuck this.
I can't.
But he has such a good voice. I really want him to record an audiobook or something.
Oh, and then you can listen to it all whenever you want.
Yeah, but I just think the world needs to hear it. He has got a great timbre.
Yeah, I did just watch a video of her dad talking to our friend Madison's child.
Ugh.
And I was like, dude had to be hot as fuck when he was younger. And they both look at me. He was.
But speaking of my parents, I have to tell you something. I almost didn't go to breakfast this morning with my mom, but thank God I did, because she was like, Rachel, I have some tea. Which I love that she's using the word tea. She's not using it correctly, but the tea that she had to give me was directly from her psychic. Because apparently my mother has seen a psychic on more than one occasion.
I would dabble.
I absolutely would.
I would be scared because of that one movie. What was it? Carmen with Beyonce. Oh my God, it was like an MTV movie.
Oh.
And it was like death. I mean, that's everyone's biggest fear.
Everyone's biggest fear is to go to a psychic and have them say, death upon you.
Yeah, like the tarot card reads bad.
I am so intrigued by tarot cards. I feel like I could have some sort of, like, I think I could channel something a little supersonic. But from my deeply churched history, I just avoid anything that could be any kind of cult situation. It's like I can't believe in something so fiercely that it takes over my life again. It's triggering. But I do love tarot cards. Whenever they come up on the For You page, and it's like, this is a reading for you.
I wait for it. I'm like, tell me.
I was meant to see this. No tags, no hashtags. This is meant for you. I'm like,
okay,
right.
So I'm dying to know. What is in the cards for your family? And share.
Well,
in the cards. Get it?
In the cards. Well, apparently this woman talks to dead people and whatnot.
Oh.
Yeah, she's one of those.
Who came through?
Apparently my grandfather.
Gramps. Oh my gosh.
Just to say that my grandma's stubborn. No surprise there.
Cute.
But the psychic brought up, and because my mom was talking about Grammy and all of that, and she goes, who is Madeline? And my mom goes, Madison? And she was like, yes. No. Not Madison's dead mother. No.
Well, I thought.
But she was just bringing her up to say, I whispered. She was bringing her up, and just said that, like, just so you know, because Madison used to help take care of my grandma, but my grandma was getting antsy and like was being weird and didn't want to pay for someone else. And
are we talking about Grammy, who is alive?
Grammy's alive.
Okay,
yeah, Grammy's alive.
So Madison was taking care of Grammy, who is still here.
Yeah,
and she no longer does.
Yeah, but she no longer does.
Okay,
she's been working more with me, and so it ended up being a good thing. But like, she kind of got off on a bit of a Madison tangent.
Has this been said to Madison?
No, that's why.
Who's sitting in the next room?
Who's sitting in the next room? But this woman got into Madison's divorce. That is happening. Can I say this?
Can we talk about your current divorce, Madison?
Okay.
Well, then let's open the.
We got permission on the pod live. And but sometimes psychics are either right or wrong, but I have to bring this up to Madison when she's available, which is definitely not right now. She's definitely not in the next room, because the psychic was like, I don't know. I'm getting that she really doesn't want this separation. And my mom was bringing this up to me, like, Rachel, just so you know, I don't think Madison wants this because this psychic lady that doesn't know us at all has said this. And I was like, whoa, that is some tea from the psychic.
Wow. We'll have to take that up with Madison.
We'll have to take that up with Madison maybe at our intermission and see what she has to say.
And we'll come back with how she really feels.
Yes.
But hey, good to know.
Good to know.
Good to know. There could be a second guess in there.
Yeah. The psychic brought up my business, which is fitting for today's episode. We're going to be talking about our careers.
Yeah. What was said?
Apparently, I just have to it will be successful, but I have to put in more work.
And which business are we referring to here?
I think the Gather.
Got it. Well, because your mom's tied to it.
Yes, probably.
Cool.
All the spirits are aligning. My mom sees a psychic, and I can't get over that. And I want to see one, maybe.
I would go with you.
We should.
And do a little record.
Could we have a psychic on the pod? Could they do a reading on the pod?
We should do a reading on the pod.
Manifesting.
If that can't happen and we have to go to their space, let's vlog it.
Yes.
That would be cool if you guys are interested in that.
Yeah.
If you care enough about our lives.
If you're a real psychic.
I heard there is some, because we said we want to get on Witch Talk.
Yeah.
Witch Pod. Because we're a
Witch
podcast. That people actually referred us to a few people who are like tarot card readers or into witchy stuff that are like would love to be a part of it. So we should probably dabble.
We should dabble.
We brought it up enough that we should probably jump right in.
Absolutely.
All right, Rach, what are your talking points for this intro? What has been going on? Do you have a stupid fight of the week?
I do have a stupid fight of the week, which brings up a lot. I feel like we can get off on some tangents. So, the little backstory for this is, so Josh and I were texting, so we got in a stupid text fight.
That is a miscommunicado if I've ever known one.
But I walked right into it. I was trying to just like kind of mess with him. But this girl texted him out of nowhere.
Ooh.
And was like did like hi with like smiley, but he didn't have her number saved.
This bitch coming through with not the emojis.
Yeah, some emojis. And I was like, Josh was like went through the whole who is this? And like she realized that she had saved his number and someone else's number in the same contact. So it basically like got a new person's number, added them to the contact. And he's like, oh yeah, well, I'm in a very happy relationship now. And she said, I'm literally gay now. So, like, and they just had like a laugh about it. But I'm like, why would she be flirty texting someone named Josh? And then I was like, maybe she's just like, blanket statement, like queer. Maybe was seeing like a trans man. And then I texted Josh. I said, but no offense, if a trans man named themselves Josh, I would judge so hard.
Don't go that route.
I said, I love you, but Josh and Kyle are one and the same vibe-wise.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh said, Josh is a way more relaxed Kyle. I do not have Kyle energy and I take offense. I said, Josh and Kyle both play lacrosse and they will both Snapchat cheat on you.
And Matt. Matt's another name. We can plug Matt in there.
And then Joshua said, Rachel's basically the little more annoying cousin of Ashley.
We just had lightning.
Ooh.
That's funny. Sorry. That was funny.
And to which I said, Rachel is just a more slutty Sarah, and you know that. And he said, Rachel is nowhere near as slutty as Sarah. I'm sorry. I hope we're catching this on the pod.
I hope that our mics really picked that up.
Because that is loud thunder.
This whole studio just shook. Okay.
Yes. Okay, but then I
ruining
said...
the delivery of this really good story.
Should we just redo it?
No.
Okay.
Keep going.
Then I said, Josh... I have to retell it.
Why?
Because it's just, this was painful and we need better deliveries.
No, we don't. We're not comedians. This is real life stories.
I've lost it. I just lost my energy for it. But
the thunder was a huge buzzkill, but go ahead.
It was very cool. We love nature. Okay, but then I said, he said Sarah's nowhere near as and I've had a stroke. We have to cancel for today.
We will return when we can speak. Is it your period?
No, we can get on that later. Rain check. Do you want to read it?
I'm gonna read this. Okay. Rachel is basically the little more annoying cousin of Ashley. Rachel's just more slutty Sarah, and you know that. Rachel's nowhere near as slutty as Sarah. I'm sorry. Sarah, not Sarah.
Sarah with an H. Not an A at the end. Sarah with an A at the end is a little hoe. Sarah with an H.
Classy.
Came from a Mennonite family or got Mennonite roots.
That's funny. Oh,
Jesus Christ.
I'm just getting smacked in the face. We are a mess. We are a mess.
That
wasn't a real fight, though.
He was actually really upset about it. When he attacks me, in the fact that, like, he didn't just, like, laugh off that Rachel's just a more slutty Sarah and you know it.
Yeah.
Also, he gets defensive when I'm funnier than he is because that was a funny line. I'll take credit. But it got me thinking about, like, names that have certain kinds of energies. And I saw this TikToker who, like, had people, like, submit, like, the most toxic names. It was, like, this list of people that have the most toxic names.
Jessica's 100% in there.
Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
But so there were literally, like, thousands and thousands of submissions. Josh, of course, tied for number 3 with Matt.
Yeah.
And then I think Ashley tied for number 2. And number 1 was none other than Jessica. Most toxic person name.
It'd be me, man.
That is so crazy.
Jessica gives off just, like, bitchy, the girl in high school no one liked.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I've been Jess since I was, like, 10. Maybe before.
Did you ever venture into Jessie?
Never. I actually hated it 100%. Whenever someone tries to pull it out. Actually, a lot of parents of friends call me Jessie. I think it was like an older generation thing. And I always just roll with it because I think that's endearing and I think that's cute. But I'm like, oh, it's Jess. I'll never correct them. Respect. But no, I've gone by Jess, and I feel like that sets me apart from the bitchy Jessicas out there.
Hopefully.
That's funny though.
I thought it was funny. Are there any names for you that, like, stick out as like what does Monica give you?
I go to friends, Monica Geller, like uptight, type A. That's where I go.
Maddie
with, like, ooh, she sucks. But I know a Maddie who I love, but I think, like, Maddie gives me different energy than Madi.
Ooh, have you ever met an Madi?
And she's dope.
Okay.
But, like, Maddie, Ddie, bitch.
So Madison in here, and I have this thing about the name Maddie because when her mom, like, so Madison's mom passed away when we were 11, but Erica was really, like, she would correct people on the spot. Like, don't call her Maddie. Her name's Madison.
But don't people call her Maddie? Like, people from high school?
Madison, people pleaser. Have you met her? When her mom died, it was like there was no really reason to, like, correct people anymore. So now she goes, like, there are plenty of people that still call her Maddie. I will never call her Maddie. It makes me, like, want to gag, kind of. And but we were shopping at the mall, and, like, we were at American Eagle, and one of the like salespeople was like, "Oh, can I put this in a dressing room for you? What's your name?" And she looked at them dead in the face, serious as hell, and said, "Maddie."
The fuck?
I looked at her. I said,
like,
what?
She never introduces herself as that.
Sometimes she does. And so I absolutely know I'm bullying her into reclaiming Madison. But like literally we're like, yeah, I call her Mads. But like we're rebranding right now and like combining forces, photo, video, and nowhere in that website will it say you can call her Maddie. Ugh. But you know what, a name that I thought was cute? I thought the name Matilda is cute. And I was like, oh, they could go by Maddie. But then I was like,
that's different.
It said the same though. Mm-hmm. On paper, Mattie. Cute. Mm-hmm. No difference between Maddie, and Maddie.
Right. I can hear it though. I feel I know the difference.
Would you?
Yeah.
But I thought names were a funny thing. I didn't know if any, like for me, one time we were, I was at a party with my sister in college. So Laura was in college. I was in high school. Obviously, I was not underage drinking.
Never.
But we were talking and there were Oreos on some table. I'm like stuffing my face with Oreos, drunk, and I'm meeting people in a room, talking to people, and I was like, "Oh, what's your name?" And she goes, "Ashley." And I look at her, I go, "I haven't never met a good Ashley." And I walked away.
Right. And that's big facts.
I was like, I don't have time for this. You're only going to disappoint me in the end.
Oh my God. That reminds me of the show. You ever watch Recess? The Ashleys?
Yes.
Ashley, and Ashley.
Remember Josh and I at your Halloween party?
Of course. But yeah, that's what I think of the Ashleys. And like Mary Kate and Ashley. I never met an Ashley I really trusted.
I know.
Not for me.
I know. It's sad, but I wanted to just bring up how funny names are. That's our stupid fight. Do you have a stupid fight?
No, I have
a for realsy fight?
No, not a for realsy fight. This is kind of like goes with your names.
Okay.
Match to vibes, but this was with dog breeds matched to people of their owners.
I could go off on this probably.
And so I saw this girl on TikTok. She's going off about, I've been dog sitting for like 10 plus years. And I know I have it nailed of like what your breed says about you.
Yeah.
And so we go through it. Joe's sitting next to me in bed. We're about to go to sleep and we're like waiting for the husky, right? I have to go to part 3 to find this, right? Anyways, I hate when you get fucking sucked down that. But anyways, she's like, and the most requested was husky. And she goes on to say, these people are the most athletic. You probably run triathlons. She's like way off, right? It just was like funny that we were like, didn't nail it. Like I get that the breed is active, so you think that your owners would be active. Like, yes, we do have to walk them a lot. But
you
like,
have huskies because your dad had huskies. There is no other reason. Like all the people I know that have huskies, it's because huskies are like their family's dog.
Yeah, but like yes and no. So like we picked out the husky for my dad. Like that was me and my sister's doing. Like it was us. We called my dad, who was working in the Dominican Republic at the time, and Britt was like having a really tough time, and we're like, we need this dog for Britt to feel better. Oh, we 100%. And he gave his credit card over the phone and we bought this dog. So it was our doing. We've had this obsession with huskies.
Do you think they're cute?
I mean, I love their they have personality. They are active. They're weird as fuck and funny. Like I do. I think they are very cute, but also very wild. And I think that's fun. Kind of like me.
Yeah.
Anyways, this girl was way off, right? We close it, whatever. All of a sudden, Joe's like, we're like, all right, good night. I'm still scrolling. He rolls over. He's like, whoop! All of a sudden, he's like, he starts choking. I got hair in my mouth. And then he runs into the bathroom, absolutely vomits.
What?
Vomits. He's throwing up. I'm hearing this. I'm like, what the fuck? And I think he's being dramatic because he has a really bad gag reflex. So if he like chokes on something, he will throw up. I was like, did you just throw up? He's like, yeah, Jess, get out of here. Just give me a minute. And I'm like, are you okay? He's like, seriously, Jess, don't come in here. He had thrown up everywhere, like on the sink, in the toilet, because he had a clump of fucking dog hair in his throat that there's a fan blowing on his face and the hair must have just right down his throat and he threw up. And to that I say, these are what husky owners really fucking look like. We have hair everywhere. And the fact that that Joe sucked it to the back. And he's like, Jess, it was a clump. He's like, I still have a little bit on his nightstand. It was like a wet clump of fucking hair. Like, and I'm talking like the dog hair, the hair that comes out of these dogs is like clumps, like tufts, real fucking thick, like a handful. I'll show it to you guys.
I couldn't have one of those.
But that really happened last night. And he's like, all right, well, I'm going to bed. Just casually threw up. He hates throwing up, but he was like, I didn't know that was going to happen.
Roll over and move on.
Yeah, it was funny though. I was like, did you for real just vomit in the sink? And our sink has been like clogging. So it took a while for that puke to be cleaned up, I'm sure.
Big yikes.
Mm-hmm. It's always funny though. Okay, I have a next talking point.
Okay. Let it rip.
Okay. I was thinking about this, and this is all over TikTok, so it's nothing new. But I was thinking, if you ever think your life is bad, at least you're not a Disney person.
At least you're not a Disney adult.
I just want to get on Disney, people. I know we can get real shitty about it, but they've been taking it to the next level for years, and we've let it slide. And I'm not okay with it. If you guys are Disney people, respect. I love that you love something so much that you want to go full chug on it.
Oh.
But it's like you're adults.
Yeah.
You know, okay, love for Disney movies.
Have you been to Disney?
Yes.
Okay, how many times?
Once, and it was magical.
What time?
And when I was young.
Okay.
And I loved it, and I felt it, the true magic as a kid, what it feels like to be at Disney. And I respect that, and I love that. And do I want to go back as an adult? Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to do a trip with Joe.
I will play devil's avocado here, and I think there's no mistaking, if you are a Disney adult, you have had childhood trauma. Because as soon as you go back there, you're like transported back into childhood, and it can all be good and healthy again.
But something about that is nice. Like, we are always seeking our younger years.
Yeah.
We're always trying to feel the magic that you felt as a kid.
Yeah.
Like, remember we talked about like your imagination just goes as an adult.
Yeah.
Like, our brains don't think that way. So it is kind of nice to like feel that thing, to feel that these characters are truly alive. And I like that. But I think like, when you bring
standing in line like that,
be that there. But when you come back to real life and you're still wearing your fucking fast pass wristband,
if you've got Minnie Mouse ears tattooed anywhere on your body, and it's always the ankle. For God's sake, it's always the ankle or the Disney castle.
And there's a way to do it, because if you really think about it, my sister has a Disney sleeve tattoo.
But you are talking to Brit.
No, she's not full to Disney.
Jess, she tattooed it on her.
No, it's different though. It's like dope. You can do it in a way that's cool. And you could do it in a way that's obsessive and weird.
Yeah.
And I say Brit's on the cool. And she does, like, she loves Disney movies. Like, she doesn't go crazy for it, and she doesn't like buy the Disney ears and go to the castle and stand in front of there for an Instagram photo.
Right, but she still tattooed them on her body. There's some illness there.
I don't think so. I'm gonna stand on Brit's side, and I think it's dope. She has like Maleficent. She's got the villain. She's got characters that she's liked. It's not like Pooh Bear and like Tinkerbell.
No,
Pooh Bear and Tinkerbell.
It's still intense.
I disagree. I disagree that my sister's full on. I guess I'm categorizing them, and I don't think you are. You're clumping them as one.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not.
You're an adult, and
there's
you're
levels.
into Disney.
There's levels to this shit. And I think I'm talking about top tier.
I mean,
adults.
there is a like traditional like honeymoon at Disneyers.
Right.
Yeah, that's.
Hey, if you want to blow a bunch of money
on standing in line,
good for you. Good for you.
Good for you.
We're not here to judge you. I heard the food there slaps, so I'd go just for the food.
Yeah, I agree that Brit's tattoos are cool, but you have to be at a certain point with your Disney obsession to tattoo them on your body. You can't disagree with that. You have to be at a certain place to tattoo something on your body.
Yeah, like
I have Harry Potter tattoos. I understand the obsession.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm not defending that she doesn't love Disney.
Yeah, she has to.
Yeah, she does.
But would she honeymoon there?
No.
I don't know. Got a blind spot. Jess has got a blind spot here.
Brit, talk to us. Get on here. You tell me. Maybe I
Jess,
just think
you know that Brit is the lost love of my life.
100%.
I would never say anything to tarnish her name.
No, I understand that. But I think who I'm referring to is not my sister.
Okay.
When I'm thinking of Disney adults.
Okay.
We'll get back to that.
We got our blinders on.
Clearly.
On. Revisit.
Revisits.
Okay. Any last intro tidbits before we...
I have one.
Okay.
And we can edit this if it doesn't hit. But something came up and we were talking about what conspiracy theories do you just believe through and through.
Okay.
And this one came up and I think it's funny and I'm reading this off of Reddit, so bear with me. Here is the theory that Kermit the Frog caused 9/11. Hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out.
You're about to convince me in approximately 1 minute.
Okay. In a Muppets Christmas film released in late 2002, Kermit is shown a glimpse of what New York City might look like if he had never been born. Among the scenery of this alternate reality in New York City, we find none other than the Twin Towers proudly standing in the background. They were, of course, long destroyed in Kermit's normal reality, and yet in the world without Kermit, the war on terror is missing its powder keg spark. Who would have thought that green piece of fuck could Kermit a terror attack on U.S. soil? But there it stands unimpeachable. We have concrete canon proof of involvement.
Which is?
In an alternate reality of Kermit not being alive, never being born, the Twin Towers stand there.
It's just this is in a cartoon?
Yes.
Okay.
With the Muppets.
I'm aware of the Muppets.
And with Kermit being alive, made before the incident, this terrorist attack, they are not there. AKA Kermit the Frog caused 9/11.
Okay.
It's a small theory, but
It's a small theory.
But funny. That's one. If you guys have any conspiracy theories, bring them to the pod. Love to hear them.
I'm not following with this. So,
if
is
Kermit
this
were
an episode of the Muppets?
Yeah, in 2002.
Oh, okay. I wish I had more to say on it.
You don't have to speak. Just let it sit with you. That Kermit may or may not, that little green piece of fuck, her words on Reddit, not mine.
Okay.
May or may not have caused it. If you guys have any thoughts.
But do you think that they would have made that movie? It takes a long time to make a movie.
It's a show, I think. It was an ongoing movie.
Oh.
Was it?
I'm just trying to find the loopholes here. I don't want to believe it. Quite frankly, don't want to believe it.
Yeah. And his alternate reality in which he was never born. That the Twin Towers.
I would have to watch. I have to watch the episode. Bring it up.
Okay. Kermit.
Bring it up and I'll speak
Was
on
it
one.
you?
Okay. Are we ready?
Let's do it.
Ready to get into the meat?
The meat of the episode. So we asked you guys, what do you guys want to hear from us? And we actually got a lot of photography, career-based feedback. And you guys asking all things photography related, career related. And someone had asked us a duo question, a double question.
Mm-hmm.
What helped you grow your business and what it's like having your passion be your job.
Yeah.
So we're going to dive into
our careers and
what that looks like for us. And
so I want to start this off by asking a question. Okay, Jess?
Mm-hmm.
What was the first job or like career that you remember wanting to be like in a serious way?
Yeah.
Like what was your first like dream job?
Yeah. So background on me. I was a big psychology girl. So truthfully, I really wanted to be a counselor. And I feel like we share that.
Yeah.
We come from a similar background of that. And so I truly wanted to be a family marriage counselor.
Me too, girl.
And graduated from Bowling Green and got my first job at Belfair, which I was a youth counselor for kids with autism, just in residential treatment, which was dope. First job I've actually really
But you just had an
about.
undergrad in psychology.
Right. So once I worked at Belfair, I was just kind of stuck there that I was like, I don't see grad school in my future. School's like never been for me.
Yeah.
And I just like never, and people always say once you stop, and this kind of goes back to like Laura's episode. It's like once you stop, you kind of just have to like push all the way through and it's hard to like get back in school once you've been out. But truthfully, working with individuals with autism was my first passion. And I loved it for a really long time and really felt passionate about it. And what was the question?
Just what was the first career you remember really wanting to be? Seriously?
Yeah. And that was it. And
like a counselor.
Yeah.
Or like working with kids with autism.
Yeah. And then it just kind of like progressed into, I became an associate teacher at an autism school. And that was like, I never wanted to be in the education system. Like,
okay.
Not that I was like totally against it, but it was kind of like the way it goes there at that agency. And I was like, that's the promotion. That's better money. That's better hours, obviously. And then I was like, this is kind of dope. And I really loved that too. And took a lot of pride and passion in that. And at this time, I'm knowing that I'm not, at one point I dabbled going back to school and actually pursuing the counselor route, but never did. And that's what leads me to just feeling burnt out in that realm. And that's what kind of led me to photography, weirdly.
Yeah.
But that was it for me. What about
That's interesting. I never knew that you were passionate about. Like, I knew that you had love for what you were doing.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that like there was ever a point where you were like, this is it forever.
Yeah, I did. I don't know if I've ever like thought like that, but it was like, could I do this forever? Yes.
Okay.
Do I want to get the living shit beat out of me every day? No. But do I have the patience and personality for it? Yes. So I knew that I differed from a lot of people who are doing it. And it's like, I really was hella passionate about it. Like I loved helping people. I loved being part of this purpose to just help these individuals and make one thing of their day better. Like it's hard to see like a long run, but like betterment of life. Like if I could just add that to their lives every single day, one thing, then I do my job well. And I loved it. It just like wasn't sustainable for an entire life.
Yeah. I mean, I saw you at the burnout.
Right. You met me at the burnout.
Yeah, I met you at the burnout. So that's probably why I was like,
kind of, and it was kind of crazy. I think about this a lot too. I was working with my very best friends in a classroom, and that really went to show that we were all kind of like on our exit route on the way out. Like we were all getting burnt out. We worked with like, they are the best of the best, but they were the worst of the worst behaviorally.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we were really fearing for our lives every day. We had kids that would just like climb us like fucking trees and like bite us and, you know, and that came with the job and we knew that. But when you're on like high alert every single day, like your body
feels it
100%. And we knew like I was working with my best friends and we knew each other had each other's back. But at the same time, it was like, we are in the best environment possible. You're working with your best friends every day, all day. And the best environment, like with these kids, you're helping people and still feeling like this isn't for me. I can't do this anymore. Like that was just telling for all of us. And we all left at the same time.
Yeah.
So it was like, and
like you, Meg and Abby. Yeah.
And you did meet me at the time where I was like, I'm looking for something different.
Yeah.
I'm looking for another fulfillment in my life.
Yeah.
And photography really just swooped up.
Yeah.
And it's weird. I talk about this too. It's like photography wasn't my passion for that long before it became my career.
Yeah, me either.
So it was really quick. So I didn't get the enjoyment of like, should I make this career? It was like, if I'm doing this, I am making it a career.
Yeah. That's how I approached it too.
Yeah.
Kind of like maybe not a career, but I was kind of like, I'd like to make extra money doing this type of a thing. Like I always approached it like a means to make money.
Yeah. How did that start for you? I don't even know
So
maybe you told me a long time ago.
Yeah. So like my first like ever like job that I wanted, that I was like dream job, take it seriously, was actually like being like a screenwriter. Like I really wanted to do that. And that's why I went to BG, majored in film, and then was like very quickly, I'm the same as you, like school. I just can't, especially when I was like at BG, the theater and film program were together. So like all my prereqs were going to be theater classes. And I wasn't very good at acting, and I didn't care to be around people that wanted to be acting.
That's so funny because like, those were my favorite classes I took at BG.
Yeah. It was just for me, it was like, y'all are trying really hard. And I was very aware of it. And I was like, this is so cringe to me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like,
I could see that.
We're in Bowling Green, Ohio. You
doing the most.
Like, right. Like, there are people in the class that were doing it for fun. And those were people like I was bonding with.
Yeah.
But like the people that were like serious, and I was like, this is only going to get more and more serious. I can't. I quite simply can't. But in high school, I was writing scripts and writing plays and stuff. So that's probably like my most serious, like, I want to do this. And I've always enjoyed writing, but I think I've always been really torn between like practicality and passion. Like, and I think even now there are periods in my life where I get really torn. But when I went into photography, like the way I got into it was like Dave and I had just gotten engaged and we just chose our wedding photographer, right? So like that's happening. And then like a couple months later, his dad was always crazy into photography, like loved it, was his biggest passion. And just like gave us one of his old cameras.
That's right.
And so I was like, I don't have anything better to do. I'm finishing my senior year of college, planning a wedding, working 25 hours a week, doing another job on the side. Like, why not? I've always been doing the most. Okay. Been bred to do the most.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to learn manual mode. Don't know. I was just like, I never put that camera in auto once. It was always just got it, put it in manual mode. Running. Yeah. Watched some YouTubes.
Yeah.
Was taking some photos. And then our wedding photographer was looking for an assistant for a wedding. Her sister normally would do it, but she's needed a hand. And I was like, hey, like could I do it? And she let me second shoot. Of course, I was shooting in JPEG and like not knowing anything I was doing, but it helped me kind of see like, oh, this is like what a wedding is. This is a whole day. And then I was a part of like the cult church, and there were people there that had a 6-week engagement. So they got engaged and were married 6 weeks later. If you know, conservative church culture. And they hired me to shoot their wedding. Whole $200.
A whopping 2-piece.
Yep. Yeah. And then I started posting photos from that. Went to a styled shoot a couple months later, like booked a wedding, and then was second shooting all that next summer. Had like 4 more of my own weddings. And then I moved to Oregon. And weirdly, I moved to Oregon with this like kind of decent portfolio, like posting regularly on social media, like, and it's a really like a fake it till you make it kind of situation.
It 100% is. It's really like how you view yourself is how others will view you in your business. So you have to just own that shit.
And so you're getting hit by those ferns.
I know. Can I move it real quick?
Yeah.
I was trying to move it backhanded, and I was like, this will make a loud noise.
Okay, cool.
I'm trying to get cozy.
Yeah, get cozy. So when I moved to Oregon, the people like and the photographers there thought I was this like super established photographer in Ohio, and I was just moving. And so when I
let them believe it.
Yeah, and when I moved there, like right after our wedding, like, you know, Dave's dad had gifted me like my first full frame. Like it was one of his used ones. And it was like, I finally had this, like, I got my Canon 5D Mark II and a used 35.
All reliable. The Mark II
The Mark II really is.
One of the best out there. Go for it if you need to start.
One of the best cameras out there, 100%. Like to buy used. It's a great camera.
It truly is all reliable.
And I just started shooting as much as I could out there. Got in with some photographers. And
also when you come from Oregon back to Ohio, people are like, ooh, you it.
Yeah.
Just because Oregon is obviously some dope state ahead of the game in some wedding trends as well. Yeah. That it's like, and it's just a saturated market over there that it's like you come back to Ohio, people are like, ooh, you good. You good.
But even when I was in Oregon, I was working part-time for a bank.
So I cannot even picture you at a bank. It's a 9-to-5 gig. Couldn't be Rach now, but
it was actually
had to pay the bills.
Yeah, I had to pay the bills. It was nice. So like really, my job at the bank paid. This is how you think when you're poor. Is like it paid for my rent, and everything else was up to us. To pay. So like Dave worked some retail, then he got into wilderness therapy and did that whole thing.
Do you want to get out of wilderness therapy? Can we?
Can we go down this? Yeah. I honestly think we should because it is. Have you seen those TikToks?
So I'm sorry that all my content's straight from the talk.
Yeah.
But I'm just so much more woke because of it.
Yes.
But no, wilderness therapy. Girls are coming out and boys are coming out that they went to this and it was so cult-like and so
it's
they
traumatic.
were so mistreated there.
Oh,
it's so toxic.
And granted, I will say, like, the staff is the one doing the mistreating,
correct,
but they are also being mistreated. So, like,
right,
very underpaid, very like
coming from someone who you were married to an employee.
So wilderness therapy is basically for kids whose either parents don't know what else to do with them, so they send them to these programs, which are out in the middle of nowhere, and most of them have a minimum 60-day like rehab that you can do. So you have to be out in the middle of nowhere, Oregon, Utah, there's some in Tennessee, like, and you live on the land.
So kids that would be sent there are looking like mental health issues,
and some drugs, like,
could be like some dabble in addiction early on, but PTSD, trauma-based stuff. And
they think, let's just throw them out into the middle of nowhere,
kind of like Scared Straight.
Yes,
like
absolutely,
kind of that situation. Like, give them bare minimum nothing and see that your life is so much better than what it could be, type of shit, I guess.
But it is really strange. Like, so also these jobs are, you live, so as staff, Dave would be on for 9 days and home for 7 days. So, like, literally our most successful part of our marriage was when he was in wilderness therapy, because we had that break from each other.
Right.
So, and he was traumatized. He was really worn
down,
because these kids are fucking upset and angry. And the scariest part about wilderness therapy is the transport teams that are sometimes hired to take these kids to wilderness therapy. So they're private contracted companies that will take your child in the middle of the night from their beds, put them on a van, and drive them to the airport.
So
they kidnap your child, and they don't tell them any information other than your parents know this is happening.
That's great for someone dealing with some mental health issues. That's really just going to help them.
It's going to really increase the trust that you need to build with your parents. I mean, looking back on it, I'm like, this is fucking wild. And I remember thinking at the time, like, this is wild. But when Dave was going to school, like, he got his degree in the UK in outdoor education. So wilderness therapy was always this kind of route that he wanted to take and thing he wanted to do.
I think in theory it sounds awesome.
You get to be outdoors, you get to help kids.
Right. I feel like putting those together sounds dope. And from someone with a background in mental health treatment in residential facilities, like, this stuff is so interesting to me because I've been in it and my experience with it has been nothing but great. I'm just saying, like, there are laws and there is paperwork that has to be done that really ensures the safety and, like, just mental health benefits of this kid. And, like, I can surely say from my experience, like, no shady shit went down. Otherwise I wouldn't have worked there for so long. Right. And I still do it now to this day. I still am employed there. I work there in the mornings. Yeah. It's awesome. And I just, like, for people to have a completely different experience. Yeah. Mind you, I'm working with individuals on the spectrum, whereas these kids don't have an autism diagnosis.
Some would, though.
Sure.
Like, yeah.
Now I feel like
it really is heartbreaking, but, like, also is a testament to the whole, like, mental health crisis, which is, like, this, like, children were not taken seriously. Like, 15-year-olds don't act out for no fucking reason. Right. On the whole, like, unless there is, like, an ODD, oppositional defiance disorder, which is not the majority of these kids. They have been abused or something. And the idea that this is rehabilitation and that there were untrained, like, Dave was trained in outdoor education. He was not trained as a therapist, right? But he had to play therapist, which is really dangerous.
Absolutely.
And I, like, for as much as I, like, can shit talk my ex, Dave is, like, a kind human being and really, like, loved working with those kids. Yeah. And young adults. Like, I think you could be up to age 25.
I mean,
in these programs.
Like I said,
and they're not cheap. We're talking like $400 a day, minimum 60 days.
Yeah.
So
mental health is not cheap, just in general. Like, I feel like it's like, heard it's like over like 100,000 a month for where I work.
Yeah.
It's private though. It's also insane. But no, it's insane. Like if Dave could just hang out with them and make them feel better about being there for one day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's.
But like a lot of it is like they try to run away because they are so traumatized. They take their shoes at night.
Yeah.
So they don't run away. So these kids run away in bare feet, come back bloodied, infected. Like,
it's a mess.
and it's like, of course these kids want to fucking kill themselves.
You're not helping.
And you're not helping. But like Dave and all of his coworkers had to be trained and restrained for when kids would try to self-harm. And it's they're in. What are they going to enjoy about this? They aren't allowed to shower for up to 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we can go on.
We had to go down.
We had to go down it.
Just because I've been doing some TikTok research on it. So I just had to touch.
It's truly, truly, truly crazy.
Okay. I guess we can just jump into this question and answer individually. It's like, what helped you grow your business? Like, maybe some tip of the dicks, some how it worked for you.
Yeah. This is a good question right now because I was just I was talking to a girl that like she'll be second shooting for me this year, and she's been getting mentored by someone else, and not that they give her bad advice, but it's just different than I would give. Sure. Right? It's just different advice than I found was successful for me. Like, some people really put an emphasis on social media and all of that, but for me, solely the thing that grew my business was making friends with others in the industry and living off of referrals.
That's what I have. I have networking, knowing, linking up with the right people.
Right. So like, especially with photography and any kind of job where like it's gig work. So like if I'm like you book one a day, right? Like I book one wedding a weekend or 2 weddings a weekend. So it's like if I book up, then I always had like people in my back pocket to be like, they like people that were newer getting started, and I could refer them to Jess.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened to me. You know, I was referred by people, and that's what I found was more meaningful getting referrals from people that trusted me and liked me, but also like was just more accurate to the kind of person I am. Like,
right.
Social media and putting up a front on that is not a priority. Mm-hmm. And it's not something that I think accurately reflects who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So it was interesting hearing like this person who is pretty defeated, hearing from someone else like, you need to focus on social media, you need to post on Reels, you need to do all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm successful and I don't do those things.
Yeah, it could help.
It's not bad advice.
No,
it could work for you.
Yeah, especially if your leads come from social media.
Right.
Which a lot of mine do, or that's what people put on their when they inquire with me. But I am not like hella active on it.
No.
Like posting regularly, sure, but I'm not like, I never once posted a video of me talking on my story because cringe. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll get there eventually, but it's hard. It's hard. Like you said, it's hard to like show up as your most authentic self on social media because of the fear of people judging you, like always, and all of that stuff. Where I can show up authentically if you meet me out for a coffee or a beer, right? And I will show up as me. And if you like me, dope. If not, then I'll give you a referral,
right?
But I feel like that has been just like meeting people, showing up as you. You know, I feel like that was the best advice that was ever given to me was email like yourself, talk on the phone like yourself. Like you want to stand out. So any type of client interaction that sounds like everyone else puts you in the same category as everyone else.
Yeah.
But, you know, if they like your work, they inquired with you, be different.
Right.
Be you. Be something that you think will represent you the best.
And ultimately, I think if you put out who you are in an authentic way, you attract people who are like you, because you probably like yourself. Maybe not on a deep level, but like you're gonna like people that reflect similar, you know, priorities and like energies, right? Like,
like I can read the room, but like typically I will curse in a normal conversation as I do in real life.
Yep.
And like I said, I can read the room. Like if that's like not welcomed, like I'm not going to be fucking intrusive about it.
Right.
But I will show you that like I'm not here to like act and be all professional. Like I am me. I am my business. And we're going to have a normal conversation here. And I'm going to talk to you about how wedding planning is going.
Right.
And you're going to get to know me. Like,
yeah,
that's what people might think that I might overshare in conversation. But like, in order for you to get close to me, you need to know something personal about me. And that's how I feel about you as well. Or like in an interaction with a client. Yeah. You don't need to tell me fucking daddy issues, but like I'm opening up. I want you to open up. We're going to have a pretty deep connection, and that allows me to do my best work.
Right. And sometimes it's just like instant, right? Like sometimes there's clients where I'm like, we're talking forever. I'm like, oh, this is great. But also like the other day, met clients up in Cleveland for some drinks, and you know, it was like a consult, so they weren't my clients yet. They hadn't like signed contracts or anything, but I just like to get their vibe. And it was really interesting that I felt instantly comfortable with them. Didn't feel the need to like fill the silence.
Sure.
Didn't need, like, I was like, this is just it. Like, this is just right. But circling back for a quick, if you are like a new photographer or a new florist or new whatever, and you're trying to create community, it's about creating community with like the people that are like you. And so like, I think this coming from me, who's like someone who's been more established in the industry, there are some people that like I can mentor really well, and other people that I don't click with. And that's really hard, right? Because for me, it's like I want to be able to treat everybody equally, but there's some people that I connect with better. Yeah. And so if you're newer and you're finding like, oh, there's this photographer I really look up to in my area, but they're not really responsive, just look for another one. Because maybe like you guys aren't right for each other. And like try not to get discouraged that like your goals photographer isn't showing interest in you, because it's like, you'll find someone. You will find that right person. And a lot of times it's like, it comes down to time. Like if you reach out to me in December or January, I'm an open goddamn book. If you come to me now, you will get ghosted.
Yeah. Know that we're in the thick of it.
Yeah.
And know that we be trying our best, just like everyone else out here. Just trying to do our best.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm always open to meeting new people and that, because it's like, finding second shooters is real hard, and finding people that like you can be in community with, like, I mean, it is so important to me. And I mean, that's kind of why I acquired this thing.
Right. So come get it.
Come now, come hot.
Come in, come hot. Yeah. Okay. Let's get into a deeper question. And this is an open question for us. You especially. What's it like having your passion be your job? What a loaded question.
What a loaded question.
And I kind of like thought about this for a while, dissected it, and was like, purpose is what fuels me in a way that passion cannot.
Yeah.
And that's where I find satisfaction in my job, if we're talking about job terms. Because that's when I feel like I'm doing something. And that comes from like the root of like my autism background, and like that's what fueled me. Everyone's like, you're so, you are passionate about that. You do love doing. You're such a, everyone, if you ever worked in special education, you're such a patient person. Yeah. Okay. But like what I get out of it is serving me, and that's why I continue to show up day after day. And finding that in photography is what fuels me.
Yeah. Finding the purpose.
Right.
Not just the passion. Yeah, I agree. I feel like I know I'm good at it. And it's not the taking pictures that I know and have confidence that I'm good in. It's just like juggling all the shit that happens on a day. It's like holding people's like space for people's emotions and stuff that I just know that like I am good at. And so it is this like, I find purpose in what I'm doing, because I know that like I'm making someone else's like most stressful day hopefully easier. But like having your passion as your job,
it gets messy.
It gets really messy, and it gets really exhausting, because it's like, and I don't know if you feel this way, like most of the time when I'm shooting, I'm fine, right? I feel like I'm back in my groove. I feel good. But it's like when I'm in the car, I might come down, because it's like not only do I need to edit these photos, I need to answer all the emails I haven't answered for the day. I haven't checked my QuickBooks in forever. I'm 4 months behind on that. Those are the things that wreck me.
100%.
Because I never feel adequate enough to be doing this. And then I add on another business that I don't feel adequate enough or qualified enough, or, so it's like my passions will get me stuck in these jobs. They'll get me stuck in these things. And my worry constantly is like, I don't know if I had the energy for this.
No, I totally get that. I feel like, and I'm sorry if you thought this question was going to go another way.
Yeah.
It is not all sunshine and rainbows. Like, that's the best thing. Everyone's like, when you're passionate with your career, that is the pinnacle of life, right? Yeah. You're doing both. And it's like, in ours specifically, like, this could be different for other people who aligned those two things and that really worked out for them. With this job, I feel like we're expected to be at 100 a lot of the time. Like, there is no room. And I'm sure a lot of other jobs are like this, But when we're interacting with clients and we're in, and that goes back to like showing up as your most authentic self. But it is hard to show up like having a shit day when these people are here to celebrate their engagement and I'm here to capture it. It's not, we don't have time for that. And that's fine. But we are expected to be at 100 for 10 to 12 hours on a wedding day, and we do it well, and then we get in the car and we drive home in fucking silence and sit there like, what the fuck just happened? And now we don't even have time to process what's going on in my life. I'm actually already, like you said, I'm thinking that someone just inquired with me 3 days ago and I need to get back to them or they're gonna go with somebody else and then I can't pay my bills.
Right.
It's a lot.
And I think like you not only have to be like 100% on one day, you have to be 100% for every single one of your clients at any given moment. Whenever one of my clients calls me and I need to answer, or people that are texting me about things that like are time sensitive for them, but aren't time sensitive for me, that is really hard. Like when I have a client that's like super on it and wants me to map out their wedding 2 months in advance, but I have a wedding the next day and I'm still working on timeline with this bride, and it's like
we do think we take like week by week, like we have to
week by week. Like it is really something.
And also it's like you are 100 all day for 10 hours. You come home and this is my husband's weekend, right? And I am at 2% and he has been just waiting for me to come home to hang out. And I am like, I'm sorry, I don't have it. And a conversation that just came up between Joe and I, Joe is a prosecutor and he had trial all week, a really stressful case that he got a guilty verdict on. That's great. We put a bad person in jail, all is well. But he was, really occupied. He's working late hours. But my week is kind of my playtime. Like I do work pretty typical hours and then come home, but like that's my time to hang with him. But if he's, focused on something else, I'm honoring that. We're going through our week. So now the stress is gone. He got a positive outcome on his workday. The weekend comes and he's just like, he's at 100. And I'm just getting in. Like I got a shoot on Friday and then a wedding all day Saturday and Sunday. I got to hang out with my friends. And it's like, we're missing each other. You know what I mean? And it's balancing that is pretty difficult. And I'm sure people who have kids who have this schedule too. I mean, Godspeed. It's hard to juggle it all and still be to show up for your relationships in your life. And I feel like for me, that's been one of the most difficult with this job, and my fear of missing out on things and not being able for weekend availability. Yeah. And I always think about what you say too, when you bring it up, you're like, this has been my life. Like it's what I expect. It's been this way for years that it's been like, I've learned to navigate around it.
Yeah. I've been doing this since I was 21.
Yeah.
And I'm 27 now. So Yeah, it's how it's been, and I do think that was like it was hard for your friends to get used to.
Yeah,
and probably still is a bummer at times. Like,
yeah,
there are no more Saturday in the summer plans. Like, and I remember like that was really hard for Josh when we first started dating, because we started dating. Well, granted, we started dating in the fall and like winter time, and then
like, so you COVID had that time.
COVID hit too, so it's like he got a pretty long spell of me. Not really doing this every weekend, but like when his best friend was getting married and I can't go. I can't go. And I usually tell people if I'm not shooting your wedding, I can't go. Because like you said, like they have to be really, really important to me for me to turn down a significant chunk of money. For my income. And at that point, it's like, if they're that important to me, I want to photograph it.
Right.
I don't want anyone else to do it because I have control issues and I want their photos to be meaningful, and you know what I mean? So
yeah,
it is hard, especially like this job specifically with, and I think owning a business at all. Like, I have never felt so, I don't know, like just, I think I am unwell. Right now, I definitely think I'm unwell, but when you're just like in the cyclone, it's all you're doing. But like I missed my period last month, taking several pregnancy tests. I'm not pregnant, but like my body is holding so much stress.
Oh yeah.
I've never missed a period in my life. Not in my divorce, not in like I have not missed a period. Like it is 4 weeks late.
Wow.
And that is
telling
because I feel fine, right?
Sure.
I feel like I'm trying and doing what I can do. But even like last night, I ended up getting home earlier. I worked at home on my laptop, but usually I just stay at the studio where my office is and I work until like 7. So usually I'm here from like 9 to 7-ish working. And I get a lot done here and I feel really accomplished. And if I don't feel accomplished during a day, I get really depressed and I really feel like emotionally shutting down. And that's kind of how I felt last night. I was home and I was getting stuff done, but my ADHD is just like, I'll go do this and go do that when I'm home. And it suffocates me and I just don't feel accomplished and it's really hard. But like Josh was playing video games, which is fine. It's not something that's abnormal. He usually plays a couple nights a week. But last night we were laying in bed and he's like, okay, so like, what do you want to do tomorrow? Like he wanted to make time for me tomorrow. And I was like, I'm not going to get home until like 10 p.m. And he's like, what? And I'm like, this is my life. And like, I find myself getting pretty short tempered with that because it's like, why don't you know by now that I don't have time? And when I'm home, you should like, it's this like, I'm wanting him to read my mind
right
now more than ever, which is like, how do you not know that if I'm home by 5 p.m., you should be taking advantage of it?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, that's not right. That's not communication. And that's not like giving grace to your partner. But like, that's where I'm at right now.
I feel it. And it's like hard. Like, it's hard to even express that after long days and being in it. Literally, you're in it. It's like your mind is always thinking about the business. Wake up. What am I going to edit today?
Yeah.
What clients am I going to talk to? What wedding do I have this weekend?
Right.
Like, because it's never going to end.
No.
So, I mean, the cycle is just ongoing and just like working on that balance is something I will be working on for a very long time.
Yeah. And I think it comes with like, you have to learn to let certain things go. A lot of photographers end up hiring editors. Some people have social media assistants.
Yep.
You know, like finding a way to give yourself more time. But I think we all struggle with like taking that cut out of our profits. And when your passion is your job, and specifically when that means you're self-employed. I mean,
right.
All of this to say, I wouldn't and couldn't do anything else. I couldn't do anything else other than work for myself.
I think
I really tried
all that time.
I really tried. When I was in the beginning stages of divorce paperwork, Dave and I owned our business together. So he was a videographer to my photographer. And so basically when we separated back in April, we stopped booking weddings. So like I literally went from April until like November with like not even really like we didn't have a contact form on our website. Like during prime booking times, I didn't get inquiries. And so I was like, well, if I'm going to be an adult and make money, I'm going to have to find something else. And my other passion at the time was beer. And so I ended up getting a job as like a beer department manager at a Gucci grocery store. And I lasted 3 months. I lasted 3 months with someone else.
For the man.
With someone else making my schedule, and all of that. Like the health benefits were not worth it. I was like, I'll be uninsured. I'll handle that. I quite simply just could not deal.
I think doing it. I mean, I've worked numerous jobs my entire life.
Yeah.
But now being self-employed, don't think I could go back.
No.
Like can't see it. Sometimes
No.
I crave it. Sometimes you just crave something different, and you think about structure and weekends off and ideal hours. But no, I don't think I could anymore.
No. It gives you freedom, and like I truly, despite right now being in a bit of a phase of like burnout / just like numb to my life, I love what I get to do, and I love the ability to create, and I wouldn't change that for anything. But like with any job, there are like serious negatives, and there are people, like I've met plenty of people that try to do photography and it's not for them. Like the instability is not for them.
Right.
And like the freedom of schedule is not worth the instability.
Sure. We hustlers out here for real. We've been hustling for it.
I know.
And it's worth it. I mean, we really just did highlight the negatives.
Yeah.
Because that's just
How
we're feeling and who we are to you guys, and just being open and wanting to show you like that is great, and we do love what we do, and that's why we do it.
Yeah. And that's why we have a podcast where we get to talk about it. And
right. And if you're going to ask us questions, we're not going to give you the fluff.
Yeah.
We're not going to bullshit you. We just want to be honest.
Yeah, to be honest.
And that was it.
Yeah. And I think there's this like lie that we believe, right? That if we just, I mean,
are we going back to fuck happiness?
Yeah.
Are we pulling a full circle?
We kind of are.
Because if it's, when your passion becomes your career, then
you'll be happy. But
with anything.
Yeah.
Gotta be content.
Then it's your job. The Billie Eilish line, Getting Older, is a song. And it says, things I once enjoyed just keep me employed now.
Yep.
And it's not that we don't enjoy it.
No, but it's
I
very
truly
much
believe you can't do it if you don't enjoy it.
That's the statement of the episode, truly.
Yeah.
Because ain't no rest for the wicked out here. Like,
No.
if you would know if you could handle this or not to say that we're real tough, because we can, but if our heart wasn't in it, this would just run us over like a bulldozer.
Like wedding specifically, like if you are a future bride or have been a bride or groom or whatever, wedding planning fucking sucks, and you know that. We
do
walk in that with 20 to 30, sometimes, more people a year.
Yeah.
We walk in the most stressful seasons of people's lives right with them. It's like working at an airport. I always say I couldn't work at an airport.
I do say that my background, and I keep bringing this up, but my background in autism has made me so well equipped for this and crisis management.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we did. Crisis management.
Yeah.
And that's literally what we're walking into on wedding days. We'd be putting out fires left and right, and we'd be planning different things. Why are you staring at me?
You're talking.
Oh my God. No, it's like you are in a hyper staring focus. Okay. And that is an hour and 10 minutes in an episode. We love you guys. We were chatty today. Had to get it all out. We love you. Thank you for being here. If you've made it this far, that's for you. Right on the fucking forehead. This is for Better and Worse Podcast, and we out.
Really, we got to get out of here because Jess has a phone consult with clients. So that's our life.